G'day guys, Fitcho here and welcome to my brand new F1 2018 career mode. And as you guys can see, we are sat here in a Ferrari as chosen by you guys, and I also gave you the opportunity to vote for my teammate at Ferrari, and you guys wanted me to race against four-time world champion Sebastian Vettel. Now, as I'm sure some of you have noticed, we're already sat on the grid here in Australia and we're right at the back in P20, and that is because that's how I'm going to be doing it for every single race in this career mode, cutting out all the practice programs, cutting out qualifying, getting straight onto the grid, going straight into the race, and we're going to be starting right at the back, so we've got a lot of cars to pass if we want to race for the win and race for the championship, which is our goal in this career mode, to try and win the Formula 1 World Championship. We're giving ourselves a bit of a handicap starting in the back, but that should give us a little bit of excitement trying to fight our way through the field. Now, the race strategy for today's Grand Prix, starting outside the top 10, having not participated in qualifying, we have free choice of tyre. So we're going to be starting on the super soft tyre, the middle of the three tyres on offer at today's Australian Grand Prix, going for the one-stop strategy, going onto the softs just before the halfway point of the Grand Prix. The whole top 10, I assume, is going to be going for the second strategy on your screen because they all have to start on the ultra soft tires which they qualified on. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe with notifications on so you know when every episode of this series does go live. But without further ado, let's head to the race. Here we go, we're on the grid in Melbourne. The lights are coming on. We've got 5 lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. The Australian Grand Prix is underway. A fair bit of wheel spin off the line, and Romain Grosjean has also had a terrible start to my left there as we head down towards turn number 1. But we don't really have anywhere to go. Boxed in there behind Marcus Ericsson, and Grosjean has gone right around our outside in the slipstream of the Alfa Romeo Sauber. Can we look up the inside as we head down into turn number 3, up the inside of Brendan Hartley in the Toro Rosso? Can we get this move done? He's still got his nose up the inside through turn number 4. The two Williams are going side by side. Stroll has pushed his teammate wide and given me the opportunity up the inside of turn number 5. We're going to try and take that opportunity and get past one of the Williams, and we do get past Sergei Sorokin. There's a little bit of contact possibly between Leclerc and Van Dorn. It looked like they were checking up just a little bit, and we're going to go up the inside of Stroll, possibly Van Dorn. He does give me space. I wasn't sure I was going to be far enough up the inside there, and I wasn't over committing to that move because I thought he was going to cut me off there. Surprise, he didn't. He left me room, and we get that position up into 14th places through 11 and 12 for the first time in this Grand Prix. Up next, we have Charles Leclerc in the Sauber. Right on the back of Charles as we head across the line to end lap number 1, up 6 places on lap number 1. A pretty good opening lap. Charles locks up and we just managed to get under him. There was just enough space there to get to the apex as the young rookie makes a little bit of a mistake down into turn number 1, and we manage to pounce. Now it looks like we have the two Force Indias up next with Gasly in between them. Oh, we've had a good run through 11 and 12. Turn the ERS back up. Are we going to be close enough to look up the inside of Ocon? No, we aren't. It looks like something has happened further up in the field. Kevin Magnussen, and it looks like Fernando Alonso has suddenly joined the front of this train as we just get up the inside of Esteban Ocon. It looked like he saw me coming a little bit. I went a little bit defensive and we got very close to contact, but I managed to make that work. As now onto the straight we go in the slipstream of Pierre Gasly, the Honda-powered Toro Rosso. Not quite close enough to launch one up the inside of turn number 1. So he's going very, very slow on the apex, backing me up just a little bit there. Not too sure what he is trying, but can we just send it up the inside at turn number 3? No, again, not quite close enough. I really had a bad run after he checked me up in turn number 1, and that just compromised me all the way down that straight. But it looks like something is going on just up ahead of us. Looks like Fernando Alonso and Max Verstappen's got caught up in this train. He's really holding us all up here. He must have had some sort of incident and got a little bit of damage. Right, we drop back just a little bit to make sure we get a proper run through 11 and 12, and that gave us the opportunity to charge up our ERS a little bit, but it's just not enough. We don't have enough charge. We're going to have to back off, just sit at the back of this train for a little bit, I do think, because we're down to about 30% on the ERS, and there's not much we can do. But up the inside of the hairpin we will go on the Toro Rosso. Past Pierre Gasly we go, a little bit of contact, but we managed to make that work. It's probably the only spot we can really make a move right now without having to use the ERS to our assistance, and right now we just don't have the charge. It looks like Magnussen and Verstappen are going at it, two very aggressive racers, and they managed to keep it both their cars in one piece and keep it on the track. As now Sergio Perez is going to the outside, and he gets past Max Verstappen. He's going side by side with Kevin Magnussen. Now they're really checking up really badly. Me and Verstappen just have nowhere to go, losing a lot of time back here, but this is giving me a chance to really charge up my ERS as Pierre Gasly went to our outside ever so slightly. I saw him at the last second, the proximity arrow go red, and I think there was a tiny bit of contact, but these guys had a shocking run through here. Can I get up the inside of the Red Bull into turn number 10? Yes, I can. Very late on the brakes, and that almost sent us up the inside of Sergio Perez, but now let's turn the ERS up. We've saved it up, and we can now really attack past Verstappen. We go into 11 and 12, trying to get a nice run through here. Now in the slipstream of Perez, the DRS flap is open. Pull to his inside and up the inside at turn number 13. A nice textbook move there, and up into 9th place we go. Good run off the final corner, though. I'm not meant to be adjusting my differential. I'm meant to be turning my ERS up to hot lap with the DRS. We blast past Kevin Magnussen, easy as you like, and now up into 8th place. Now I was saying it looked like Alonso was the cork in the bottle earlier, but he seems to have got away from these guys as they started to fight very aggressively. So I'd just say they've been going at it really, really hard, and they held each other up earlier, and that's what caused all that chaos. Now let's just save a little bit of ERS, and now just sort of settle into a rhythm. We've got a bit of a gap up to Alonso to reel in. Oh, we have a car in the pits, and that was Carlos Sainz. The first car I have seen pit in today's Grand Prix, and we also set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so we definitely have a little bit of pace here at our home Grand Prix once we actually get out in some clean air. Looking at the mini-map, it looks like one of the Mercedes has got away, and then there's a big squabble between Vettel, the other Mercedes, Ricciardo, and I assume that is Nico Hülkenberg in the other Renault. I'm just looking on the mini-map, a big battle pack of 4 just up the road ahead of Fernando Alonso.
Some information on Vettel. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Right, so our teammate Sebastian Vettel has some kind of mechanical problem. That could explain why he's battling with a Red Bull, and more importantly, a factory Renault car right now. We are right on the back of Alonso now within DRS. ERS in hot lap mode. He goes a little bit defensive, but he leaves enough of a gap, and we shove our Ferrari up the inside and up into 6th place now. And it looks like someone is heading off into the pit lane, and that looks like it's the Renault of Nico Hülkenberg. So both Renaults pitting quite early in this Grand Prix, and that works fine. They were a car that you'd classify it in the midfield, and someone I would have to overtake in this Grand Prix. So them pitting is quite nice to me, actually. It sort of gets them out of my way, less cars to pass. And now the next car up on the road is our teammate Sebastian Vettel, who, as we know, is having some kind of mechanical difficulties in the first race of the season. Oh, a big moment. I clipped the curb there through turn number 5, and it really unsettled the car. For a second, I thought I could be going into the wall, but I managed to pull that back. Right, Vettel is really, really struggling. We have DRS team orders here at Ferrari. No, he's not going to get out of our way just yet. We're going to have to be patient, hopefully do it on the pit straight, because always very, very slow Vettel. He's got some major issues. We're going to look up the inside. No, I was a bit aggressive, I'm not going to lie, but I was sort of hoping, teammate, he's got damage, he's not going to put up a fight, and he's just going to let me through, but that is not the case, and it looks like one of the Mercedes has dived into the pit lane. Now, we do make a successful move on Sebastian Vettel, and we've gone and thrown it off the road. I was too busy trying to work out which Mercedes has pitted, and now we're possibly under attack from Vettel. No, his issues are too big to mount and attack, and we did have DRS to help defend. That is a nice thing at Melbourne. There's one detection point for both DRS zones, so if you get it and make the move into turn number 1 or before turn 1, you then have the DRS even though you're ahead for that next straight. All yellow flags are out. It looks like Ricciardo has some sort of issue. No, the hometown hero. Well, he's from Perth, which is the other side of Australia. But the other local in this race is out. Always happens. Ricciardo never has luck at the Australian Grand Prix. And yet again, even on F1 2018, he's getting struck with bad luck at his home Grand Prix. Hopefully, I don't get cursed. Aussies never do well at the Australian Grand Prix, and I am an Aussie racing at the Australian Grand Prix. One of them is out, and hopefully I don't face any issues. It looks like Lewis Hamilton has dived into the pit lane, so we've actually inherited the lead of the race here on lap number 10. Oh, Sergio Perez is out of the race now, down to 18 runners. Right, end of lap number 12, and we are coming into the pit lane for our one and only stop of today's Grand Prix. There is the speed limit, and we don't speed, which is the main thing. A bit cautious on the pit entrance, but we didn't speed, and that's the main thing, and we are out of the box. Onto a set of the soft tyres. It's been a decent race so far. We've gone through the traffic. Alright, it got a little bit argy-bargy there, but we did manage to get through, and both Mercedes have gone past, and we are going to re-merge in third place by the looks of things. Charles Leclerc and Esteban Ocon coming down the pit straight. We have got across to the apex of turn number 1 a little bit ahead of it. It looks like Ocon has actually made an overtake there. So it looks like it's just me versus the two Mercedes now. Sebastian Vettel is seriously struggling in this race. I believe he still has some sort of issue. I can see yellow flags back on that straight. Not too sure what has happened. Haven't seen any messages of anyone retiring from the Grand Prix, so possibly a little bit of debris, but Charles Leclerc has disappeared from fighting Esteban Ocon, so I'm not too sure what has happened there. Oh, virtual safety car, so I'm not too sure what has actually gone on here. But we have a virtual safety car out. I've backed up way too much. I need to pick up the pace a little bit here. I'm too busy trying to work out what has actually caused this VSC. We're getting back closer to the delta that we need. I feel like it has something to do with Charles Leclerc, because he was just past turn 1 by Ocon, who was behind us, and now Leclerc has just disappeared, and it was on this next straight is where I saw yellow flag. So here we go. We might be about to see what... Oh, a bit too fast. Oh, we're ending already. So I'd say everything's being cleared then, eh? So I'm not too sure what has caused that. Hopefully I went back and found that in the replays. And we are returning to green flag racing now. I think it was about a 7-second gap up to Valtteri Bottas here on lap number 14. Pretty much half race distance of this Australian Grand Prix. 7.8 up to Bottas. So a fair bit of time to find if we want to catch up and improve our position in this race. Another step higher on the podiums. We have yellow flags up in this next sector of the circuit. It looks like an Alfa Romeo Sauber. Looking at the mini-map very careful here, and yes, it is Charles Leclerc, so I was right. Something has happened between Leclerc and Esteban Ocon when the overtakes happened at turn number 1 when I came out of the pit lane. Right, heading up to the line to start lap number 20. We're still in third place, hunting down Valtteri Bottas, and the gap for the first time has dipped under 5 seconds. We're bringing that down somewhere around 7/10 a lap right now. And looking at the minimap, it looks like traffic could just be about to become a factor, as it looks like Valtteri has an Alfa Romeo Sauber just up ahead of him on the circuit. Right, so Valtteri has already found his way past Charles Leclerc, and now it is my turn. He is going to get very nicely out of my way. Charles doing a good job of being a back marker, something he's definitely not used to with the junior career he has had, but he's getting well out of the way of, I guess you could almost call it, the senior team here at Ferrari, being a Ferrari junior that he is. And just announced today that I'm recording it, he's heading to this very seat I am in for this career mode next season in real life. And I've been too distracted by that, I've forgotten to play around with my ERS on that straight. I found a nice way to use it lap by lap on a hot lap sort of thing on a consistent basis and keep it charged, keep it using. And I just sort of forgot that. You use about high, sometimes overtake on the straights, including the long straight or long curvy straight before 11 and 12, and then you put it to 0 from turns 3 until that straight, and then from turn 13 until you get on to the pit straight. But you're definitely reeling in Valtteri Bottas. Now we're on lap 23 of 29 in this Australian Grand Prix. Hopefully we can get past the Finn and get up into second position. We've had a good run through 11 and 12, hot lap, rich revs, DRS, a mega run on Valtteri Bottas up the inside of the Finn, a textbook move there, up into second place, and now we can set our sights on Lewis Hamilton. I think we might be a tad late going for the win in this Australian Grand Prix, as I got a bit distracted trying to change my ERS and fuel mixture there through the final corner, but I don't think it has hurt us too bad as we set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with that help of slipstream and DRS, and doesn't look like Bottas is close enough to come back at us here as we head down towards turn number 3. We are safe from the Finn and we have secured second place now. Ooh, a bit of a slide coming out of turn number 3, and Valtteri Bottas is now right on our chuff yet again, but he's not quite close enough to capitalize on that mistake we just made. But we have a very full battery right now, so we have plenty to defend with from the Finn. It's the final lap of the race, and I was trying to go for the fastest lap of the race, so I've hit a little bit of traffic. Gasly has gotten out of our way. Next up is Carlos Sainz. This could kind of help us or really hinder us. Sainz out of our way. We get DRS, Fernando Alonso now out of our way. Then you have Sergei Sirotkin and Max Verstappen. Is Sirotkin going to get out of our way? Very, very nicely. What about Max Verstappen? He also gets out of our way, sort of. I chop his nose there a little bit as he didn't fully want to get out of my way. I get DRS yet again. I'll be running in overtake, hot lap I should say, with rich revs, DRS, and I think we do get the fastest lap of the race as we cross the line to finish second in our Formula 1 debut and our home Grand Prix. I'd say that was a pretty successful race. It's a shame that Seb had issues and he couldn't be up there fighting with us today. I didn't quite have the pace to catch Hamilton. There just wasn't quite enough laps left for me, and Bottas just didn't quite have the pace to keep up and fight with me, so I just sort of ended up a bit by myself there in a Mercedes sandwich, sort of a Mercedes steak sandwich done rare there with the Ferrari in between the two Mercedes. There wasn't much I could do there, but so be it. Second place, 18 points on the board, and we're standing on the podium at our home Grand Prix in our first ever race. You can't complain too much about that.
Mercedes then are on top today.
So Lewis Hamilton has won the opening race of the season. That's myself on the podium in my debut with Valtteri Bottas on the third step. Sebastian Vettel has actually managed to salvage a fourth place with all the issues he was having, albeit 24 seconds, a whole pit stop off the lead of the race. And Nico Hulkenberg in the best of the rest spot with Esteban Ocon just behind him. Stoffel Van Dorn and Brendan Hartley getting points in the first round of the season. That makes me very, very happy because I'm a big fan of both those drivers. Kevin Magnussen and Romain Grosjean, the two Haas's, round out the points. Williams and Sauber coming so close to points. Then Max Verstappen in 13th. Red Bull having a horror day in the office with Daniel Ricciardo not finishing the race. In the Constructors, obviously, Mercedes have taken the early lead with a first and a third place here in Australia. Ferrari second, 10 points back. Then Renault actually sitting in third place. And Force India, McLaren, Toro Rosso, and Haas. Then you got Red Bull, Williams, and Sauber, all without points to their name. So we should have pulled a few points back in the rivalry there with that race. We weren't on the back foot because I don't participate in qualifying, so I'm already 2 points back. From that, we jumped back ahead of Sebastian Vettel, who had issues in today's Grand Prix, and we get a few resource points. That's something I am going to pay some attention to throughout this season, but I'm not going to try to develop ahead of everyone. Pretty much what I want to do is keep Ferrari as the equal best team with whoever is our closest competitor, which at the moment is Mercedes. Maybe someone else like Red Bull's going to develop up to us, I'm not too sure, but at the moment I'm just going to try to keep Ferrari level with the next best team as we're starting to move slightly towards showmanship, which is what Ferrari do want. And that brings us to the end of this first weekend, and we've got the invitation stuff. I'm not going to worry about that. We're here to go racing. I'm doing other videos on the classic cars, which I hope you guys have been checking out, because I really do enjoy making those classic car videos and driving the classic cars. They are a lot of fun. But where is the next race weekend? It is not going to tell me. I'm trying to remember if it is Bahrain or if it is China. Is there anywhere for me to check? It's Bahrain next, that is right. I keep getting confused between the two, but the next round is Bahrain. That is a track I do quite like, so hopefully we can build on a good first weekend, which we've had here at home in Australia, and hopefully go one better than second and win out in Bahrain. Not too sure if it's going to be possible. We'll have to wait and see, but it's definitely a track with a lot of opportunities to overtake, and starting last, a track with a lot of opportunities to overtake is something I definitely do like. I'll be able to get through the field quicker, and that means more time to attack the leaders, fight with those guys, and fight for the race win. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you do leave a big like on the video. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe with notifications on so you're notified every time one of a new video in this series does go live. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.